Hello and welcome to Gauntlet Hangouts event. Today we're playing Cthulhu Dark Green, which is a hack of Cthulhu Dark. Cthulhu Dark obviously is by Graham Walmsley, and it's probably the best Cthulhu-esque game I know. We're playing a hack of Cthulhu Dark Green called, Cthulhu Dark Green by Justin Ford, and it allows to have like the typical spy stuff that you expect from a Delta Green game. The scenario we're playing today is called Night Laws. Slight spoiler alert, and it is by Dennis Detwiller. It was first published, I think, in Countdown. All right, with me I have three terrific players that if you have watched the first session, you already know. And maybe you can say something about yourself. I don't know, maybe your connection with Delta Green or the Gauntlet. And we start with Yasmin.
Hey, I'm Yasmin, she, her. I have been playing Cthulhu games for a long time. Delta Green is one of them. And I liked Cthulhu Dark since it came out or pretty close to it. So it's a good combination of two interpretations of the mythos I really like. I've been with the Gauntlet for a good while as well. And do we do character introductions right now or later?
Let's go through, first introduce the players maybe.
Okay.
So Kevin.
Hi there. Kevin Lemke, otherwise known as Kevin Lovecraft or Cthulhu out on the social medias. And I've been gaming with the Gauntlet, 3 years and change now, I think. If you know me through the Gauntlet, it's probably from playing Margot the Werewolf in Mercy Falls. And I'm a big fan of small books / indie games. I've also been a huge fan of Delta Green since way back in the day when it first started off with ideas in Unspeakable Oath and grew into the various products that are out there now. And I love the use of this Cthulhu Dark Green tool to strip it down just to its minimal core to really open it up for role play and not worry so much about do I have that skill or not. It's just super slick system.
And Puckett?
Hey there, Puckett, he, him. I've been on the Gauntlet for 2 or 3 months now. Long-standing connection with H.P. Lovecraft's work, as well as the problematic aspects of it. Used to read it to my kid as bedtime stories, and then we would either laugh at how hokey it seems now, or we would break down some of the problematic aspects in each story. Been dealing with Call of Cthulhu since, I played that when I was much younger. Started getting into Delta Green, Fall of Delta Green, etc. And the last 6 months, year, something like that. I'm especially fond of the Fall of Delta Green scenario that Haidt put together around the May 68 Paris revolts, because situationism is kind of my jam. And it's like, wait a minute, situationism and Cthulhu? Oh, my heart. I can't take it. So, anyway, I'm glad to be here. I love messing around with Lovecraft's world and trying to, I hesitate to say right some wrongs, but at least put it in a different context that people can enjoy without the problematic aspects of it.
Talking about problematic aspects, I think I will call social services, because reading Cthulhu to children is not okay in my book. But anyways.
Listen, that story about the cats is hilarious. I don't remember the title of it, but she was just like, "Oh my God, that's so sweet," and they killed those people. That's exactly what cats would do. It's like, aren't you just adorable? Good night, honey.
And
She was like,
obviously,
I don't know, 6 or 7.
we all know that cats are assholes, so that fits the bill.
Doesn't it?
All right. So you've all been. Oh, let's have like a small vignette about your character. So we have 2 returning characters. Jasmine, since your last mission, about a year has passed, a little less. How has the mission changed you? Maybe you can describe a small vignette with an anchor that highlights maybe what's different about her. And could you describe like how your character looks like? And
Yeah. So my character is Agent Meyerhoff. Real name is Dr. Lynette Wisniewski. She's a medical researcher, and she often deals with the aftermath of the Delta Green missions where there are bodies or materials to analyze. And since she is an expert in diseases, and last time she had a revelation about magic as a kind of a mimetic disease. We do see her. She's where to her anchors again. Give me a second. Wasn't there? Okay, there. Sorry. She is. We see her running in the woods. She's an athletic woman, rather thin and not one for taking much care of her outer appearance, just enough to appear professional. And so she is. We see her in the woods running and concentrating on the environment, taking deep breaths, taking in the nature. But her footsteps take her back to the place where the ritual happened a year ago. She wasn't there, but of course she returned, looked at the place, studied the ritual circles, the forensic evidence, and now she's back here again and looking at the place a year later and still wondering what to do about this phenomenon.
so since the last mission, you kept on the case. Is it like you try to find out more about the creature that you've summoned?
It's more like she's trying to find out more about magic, but without really looking at magic, so she does not get infected. And this is a place where she knows it happened, and so she's drawn back to return. And she's trying to find out how to increase her knowledge without infecting herself.
And of course, like in the parlor of the program, it would be called hyper geometry rather than magic, because
of course
there must be like a scientific explanation for it. And so Agent Marlowe, has the last mission changed you in any way?
Yes, it's definitely changed Agent Marlowe, otherwise known to his real people as Alan Barr, quite a bit. He's much more withdrawn and stressed out. I've added a new anchor for Marlowe because last time we saw him with his wife, Sarah, she was pregnant. Now their baby has come, Abigail, and he has a really hard time engaging with his daughter because he sees himself as a possible infection vector. And then we have another vignette where we see his wife opening up the mail, and it's a bill from the clinic. And she sees that he had a vasectomy, and a big argument because he didn't discuss it with her first. But he's like, with all these horrible things out there and the things I have to do, I can't bring another person into this world. Of course, he can't tell her the reason. And because he clams up, it's created a rift in the relationship. It's almost kind of like a detente. And he's really thrown himself into work. And so that's how he just, rather than trying to resolve the issues with his wife, he avoids them by doing the workaholic thing. He's constantly doing overtime, taking missions. Travel is great because it gets him away. So we see that he's pretty messed up. It might even be like PTSD going on there because he has flashbacks of tossing Thomas, Dangler into that circle and shooting him.
And so it was a conscious decision not to tell your wife that you will have the operation.
Yeah, I think Alan was afraid he might be talked out of it because he'd have to give justification for it. And he couldn't come up with a convincing lie he knew he could stick with. So it's like easier to ask for forgiveness than permission approach. Yeah, and it's a very easy procedure to hide. Speaking from experience, I mean, I didn't do the secret thing, but
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
yeah, not really. Sit on a bag of frozen peas for a weekend and drink some beers.
And so we have a new character. Puckett, can you introduce Darby for us?
Sure thing. Darby Schroeder is a journalist somewhere in her mid to late 20s. You know, old enough to have been out of college for a while and have gotten some stories under her belt and kind of made a bit of a name for herself at the paper. Not so old that she can't run around and get physical if need be. She's not quite desk bound yet. She's about 5'9". She's slender. She likes to wear vintage eyeglasses, like the ones with the pointy rims that kind of make her look like an owl or a librarian from the 1950s. And she has this curly brown hair that just frizzes like crazy anytime it rains or it gets humid. And, you know, so as Kevin was pointing out in the comments along the side, you know, basically her hair is frizzed for about half of the year at a minimum. So, yeah, that's Darby.
Okay, so for the sake of brevity, we all assume that you got an encrypted message to like as an invitation at a night for a night at the opera, and we know that Lynette gets a sealed test tube, I think, with the encrypted message, and Kevin gets his a string of numbers on his secret pager, and so Agent Marlowe, your message points you towards a dead drop somehow nearby, and the dead drop contains a box, and inside of the box are 4 burner phones, the mission briefing, a keychain with 3 keys, and a Polaroid camera, and as well as a reservation for a Best Western hotel in Manhattan. And yes.
Keep going.
And the others just get, you know, you can see, because of the way you get the message, that it is from Delta Green. You all get the reservation for the motel. So one question for Agent Mulholland: how do you get the message?
Oh, her quote cousin Randy calls her at work, but there is no cousin Randy. There never has been. But that alerts her to go to check one of a series of dead drops. It's usually coded by saying, with an addition like, "Hey, I'm going to be coming into town," means check this dead drop. "Hey, I'm going to be late for dinner," means check this other dead drop. So she goes and checks the relevant dead drop and gets the information that way.
And so we assume that you all met up at the hotel, and I will link you to the mission briefing. Let's see, it's Operation Snow White, and can be found here. And so maybe Agent Marlowe, if you wouldn't mind, like paraphrasing what the mission is about for your fellow agents, because you're supposed to destroy the briefing document anyways.
Yep. So the header, of course, memorize and destroy thoroughly. Operation Snow White. We have 5 objectives. Number 1, document the items in Abigail Laura Wright apartment. 2, identify and destroy possible vectors. Burn the hell out of them. 3, locate Abigail Laura Wright. The ordering of these is interesting. 4, ensure public ignorance of both Delta Green and preternatural threats. Duh. 5, invoke static protocol if necessary. MO document, photograph, note serial numbers on manufactured items, etc. at the contents of the alleged crime scene at the McAllister building. And we have a timeline here to work off of. June 4th, Abigail was reported missing by her father. June 5th, NYPD investigated the scene at the McAllister. June 6th through 10th, all residents of her apartment building were interviewed, and also her friends and associates. No leads were found, so the case got backburnered. August 4th, Abigail's credit card was used to purchase a pack of cigarettes in Patience, Maryland. August 6th, the FBI began investigating the case as a possible kidnapping. August 9th, lack of leads in Patience, Maryland brings investigations there to a dead end. Our friendly is once again Dr. Jensen Wu from AMNH DSTAX. And our green box is at the Store and Save over in Meadowbrook, New Jersey, Unit 209. What does the Polaroid show when I pass that around to everyone?
Oh, it's a Polaroid camera.
It's just the camera. Okay.
Camera and a lot of films.
Okay, my bad. So we're going to use that camera to document since nothing goes out of house.
So it does come down to documenting the items in the apartment, and then you mentioned that the order is a bit weird. So finding her seems to be less important than documenting the stuff.
Yes, I'm assuming a presumption of possibly being dead or co-opted.
So what is static protocol?
Well, you might have heard it, but we don't know. So let's have the first roll on the table.
Cool. So is this within my expertise?
Not as a scientist. It would be. It is more or less because you are a Delta Green agent. You can theoretically know it, but your particular occupation doesn't give you a higher chance.
I have a 1 then.
Do you want to re-roll this?
Nah.
And I'm assuming I'd have even less of a chance of knowing what it is as a journalist.
You have the same chance, which is 1 die, but you could also use your dark die to enhance the probability.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. And
Guys, can we have 2 minutes? I'll be back in a sec.
sure thing. All right. So I rolled a 1 on the regular die and a 6 on the dark die.
Best. This is absolutely the best. So Operation Static is. I wonder where you have heard this. So this is obviously not your first Delta Green mission.
Mhm.
Just like quickly, what was another mission that you have taken part in?
There was a mission that went really, really sideways in Pakistan. And I was on that mission with some very heavy people. Like the ones you don't even want to know what their agent name is because you want to know nothing about them. You don't want to know what they look like, nothing. And they talked maybe a little bit more than they should have about static protocol before we went in. And then I saw what static protocol meant. And I'm not real thrilled about seeing it here. I mean, it's the sort of thing I could do with never seeing again.
So one thing they talked about static. It must have been like an older agent, because the knowledge is now almost lost among agents, and static protocol was how do you call it? Like, what it was put in place in '58 after Operation Bristol, and it means several things. So first of all, the reason why somebody should invoke static is there is some kind of vector that causes some kind of madness or insanity, and the nature of the threat means that it is contagious. So it normally has to do with works of art. It can be a piece of music or literature. And in your case, Agent Mulholland, I think it was music. It was some kind of probably like a prog rock band that has experimented with.
They were trying to incorporate some Sufi musicianship, and they found they found what they didn't find Sufis. They found a cult worshiping some crazy elder god that with a name I can't pronounce and way too many consonants in its name. And I really didn't. I mean, it was a bad scene. All their fault.
And so I think part of Sufi, the experience is obviously dancing and singing and reciting and the music. So the whole like artistic expression is trying to incorporate different art forms into the show, and I think what really appalled you is the fact that the crowd that took part in the concert stayed there for I don't know, like probably 3 or 4 days without stopping to dance, so that their bodies were completely devoid of any kind of nutrition. Probably their feet were bleeding.
They're like the Red Shoes story.
Yes, exactly. And it did remind you of these stories of the Middle Ages, of the dancing sickness, for example, in Strasbourg, where like thousands of people died because they couldn't stop dancing, and other stories throughout history. Another story of Native Americans, where the medicine man would whose face would be cut off, and he would spread this madness disease to other tribes. In any case, so
they all seem like fairy tales and fables, honestly, just to kind of, because I mean, it's like it was always in response to a wish of some sort. So, it's easy to just chalk it all up as this is what happens when you want too much. So be grateful for what you have, but having seen it, yeah,
it is more like a story of obsession, I guess, rather than, I mean, the fairy tales I told with the intention to, be happy with what you have. But the subtext is definitely when you love something too much and you have to repeat a certain activity, or you have to go at it over and over and over again. This can't be sane. So please increase your stress level and the insight by 1. And what? And there's more information through static.
So that's stress and insight both go up by 1.
Yes,
Okay.
please. Because you rolled the 6. So what kind of obsession did you have as a teenager, or like maybe as a child, or earlier? Something that you were really into, but in an unhealthy way.
Goth music.
And how did that, how would people see that it was unhealthy, that it was too much?
I looked like Peter Murphy all the time. I mean, I wore black all the time. I was pale. I looked like I was anemic because I completely avoided the sun. I just stayed inside and I listened to my sad records, and I, thought about spiders a lot. So it was unhealthy in that I wasn't really eating a lot at that point, and the kind of aesthetic around it was tall and lean and pale. And so I tried to ape that as a high school student and wound up in the hospital with an eating issue, shall we say. So it took a while to come back from that. And I still can't listen to Bauhaus.
Yeah, people would see that you are extremely skinny and pale. All right, and the last bit of information is that if static protocol is invoked, a second team is deployed to observe the first team.
I think in our case, we don't have the necessary skill sets to implement static protocol, because when I saw static protocol implemented, it was basically a black bag wet ops team. And they were haunted by what they had to do. I mean, it's one thing to have to kill one person or 2 people or even 5. But with this, they were chucking white phosphorus grenades into rooms, closing the door, then going inside and putting bullets in anyone who was still moving. So there's no way around it. It was mass murder. And I'm just a journalist. Like, I shouldn't even have been on that one. And for some reason I was. And it still haunts me. So all I know is that I'm not doing that. Like this, invoking static protocol, peace out.
But you also know that if the vector is not addressed, the madness will spread, and the measures you would have to take to contain it then would be even worse.
I'm just saying, with the team that we have in front of us, we don't have. I mean, I'm a reporter. I don't carry a gun. I carry a pad and paper and a tape recorder.
Well, there are ways to, kill a whole building if need be. I know a thing or two about toxology as well, so we would not need to go to the well of diseases should the need really arise.
My jaw drops, and I look at Agent Meyerhoff. And is there any chance I can just ask to raise my stress level to 3?
Yes, you can.
Okay, because that just freaks me out.
Yeah, and Marlowe's and not to be a
mass murder.
And Marlowe's not to be a ray of sunshine, but that protocol might be invoked against us if we catch whatever it is.
Yep. So we should make sure to avoid that. I think we have levels of containment within the team, so there is one person to assess the effects of whatever we are encountering on the rest of the team. I would so we should make sure that only at most two of us are handling materials and the camera, or are looking through the camera. One of us shouldn't even see any of the photos.
Wow.
Roger that.
We're really going to have to compartmentalize this, aren't we?
It's what we always do. Right?
Yeah, but
You don't compartmentalize?
No, I'm
How
just
do
saying
you
it's like
live?
This is kind of. I mean, even for this is tight. I'm not arguing, and I'm glad that both of you volunteered to be the people who see these materials. But I'm just saying it's kind of tight.
Marlo just kind of rolls his eyes at volunteer to see these materials, and he's like, I don't know about you, but I've got a family waiting at home, and I already bring enough shit home, and I do not want to bring this. In fact, I can't go home if I see this shit. I'm just...
Well, my skill set would be the one most suited to assess spread of disease. However, it also seems that I'm the one most prepared to live with the consequences of seeing or these things that are being exposed to them. So, should the need arise, I will be the one handling the camera.
This is a relief. I thought you were going to say that you couldn't do it because you needed to be around to fucking mass murder a building of civilians.
I will write you a workflow and provide the materials in the green box should the need arise, and I'm not there to implement it.
Okay,
I like Marlo.
Before we all go Mangala or whatever here, let's go assess before we freak ourselves out, before we've even started cataloging.
You've been on these missions, right? I mean,
why do you think I'm freaked out?
I mean, we start with freaked out. That's a nice, good baseline. Freaked out, worried, kind of keeps us. Well, it's kept me alive so far. And it's obviously kept you alive so far. And I guess that whatever I just mass murder. It's going to take me a while to get the idea of gassing an apartment building out of my head. So,
well, think about it like the liquidators at Chernobyl. Millions of people would have died. Wouldn't they have done their jobs, and wouldn't they have laid their lives down? So, and that is the level of threat we might be potentially dealing with.
Meyerhoff, I understand that. I'm not saying that it won't be necessary. I'm just saying I don't want to think about it. I hate getting called in on these things. I just want to go back to my desk and stick with some kind of crooked construction company paying off the inspection, the city inspectors. Let's just get this over with. Let's all go home. And no offense intended, I hope I never see either of you again.
So we fade out on that scene and fade in with the three of you standing in front of the address that was on the mission briefing. So it is the beginning of August in New York. It is super fucking hot. It's like this oppressive heat that makes you wish you want to be inside in a room with a good air conditioning. You stand in front of a brownstone building from turn of the century, beginning of the 20th century. There's a staircase leading up to the front door, and there's these the garbage nukes from where like behind the fence. Do you know what I mean? Like the typical New York, I guess.
Wrought iron fence, like the little, just like little posts and spikes poking up, and
yeah, exactly. And then there's the garbage bins behind that, and there's this horrible smell of garbage that is exposed to the sun. Let's say it's not even noon, and it is unsufferable. So what do? You have the three keys, obviously, to that will open up the apartment and the front door. Kevin is muted.
which two of us are going in?
Well, I mean, for whatever it's worth, Marlo's the guy with the gun. I'm at 6'2", 220 pounds. I can intimidate people out of the way, whatever. So I'm definitely, I think, one of the ones going up. And maybe we all go up so someone can keep an eye on the other two.
Yep. That's how we do it.
All right.
So I'll unlock the door and go in and jab the button for the elevator. If there is an elevator, is this walk up only?
There's not, unfortunately. So
How many flights up?
the building has 3 floors.
Thank God it's only 3.
But the apartment you are looking for is thankfully in the basement. They're not on the ground floor, I mean.
Oh, okay.
And so you enter the hallway. It's this nice, cool air of an older stone building, no air conditioning, but the air has been kept cool. There's like a burgundy soft carpet on the floor. There's 2 rows of on each side there's a row of post boxes. There are 4 doors in total, 2 on each side, and there is a staircase leading up. And if you go to the link I shared, there's a JPEG called the McAllister Building, and you can, which was also part of the documents that Agent Marlowe got. And you can see that the apartment you're looking for is directly on the right. And so the 3 keys you have is obviously front door, key to the apartment itself, and a key to the post box. So what do?
Marla, before you guys go in, this may sound a little bit weird, but please give me your service revolver, your service weapon.
No.
I'm asking.
Should have brought your own gun.
It isn't that. If something goes sideways in there, I don't want you being armed. If you happen to be, if it's contagious and you are somehow infected, the last thing we need is someone with a gun and your size. Because I mean, let's be blunt, you can just bowl right over me. But at least if you bowl over me, I can call Delta Green in and tell them the situation has changed and that we need a different team with a different skill set, as opposed to you killing me and maybe Meyerhoff. And look, I don't like this. I don't want to be here. I'm not trying to take your gun away because I think I need to shoot you or anything like that. This is not about me having a weapon. This is about you not having a weapon. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, and I don't like it. And I pull my pistol out of my holster and eject the round out of the chamber, pull the magazine out, hand you the bullet and the magazine, put the gun back in the holster, and snap the restraint back over.
You have any other clips?
Hold out my arms and go, feel
Hold out
free to
peace.
search me.
Marlo.
Okay, hold out peace. Yes, I do have. And I bend down and pull that off my left ankle.
All right.
It's a little 38 snub nose.
Smalley, you're back.
Just a knife. Handcuffs.
Knife we can deal with. All right. Good luck in there.
Hey, would you go check that mailbox quick while we're going in?
What are the risks that there's something in there that needs to be contained?
You stay here, we open the door. If there's nothing that needs to be contained immediately, I think we have time for you to go to the mailbox.
Okay. That's fair. I'm not trying to leave you two to do all the dirty work here, but I've seen this. I've seen how static protocol plays out, and I am freaked out right now.
You are doing your part of the mission. No need to be to feel any guilt about it.
May not be any need, but that doesn't change how I feel. You know how the brain works.
If any of us start looking like we enjoy this shit, that's when we get retired. And I put the key into the door of the apartment and unlock it and push the door open.
So I don't know what you have expected, but when you open the door, there is like definitely a visceral feeling of whoever lived there or whatever happened to this room. There is a sense of like insanity. Every single space on the walls are covered with something. The floor is completely empty. Even the carpet has been stripped off the floor, revealing like a stained linoleum floor. But the walls, there are papers glued to the walls. There are chairs taped to the walls. There is all kinds of small electronic devices. There's an old typewriter. There are empty frames. Whatever you can imagine is glued or taped to the wall in a way that leaves no empty space, obviously, but is also taped over each other and glued over each other. And there doesn't seem to be any conceivable pattern to the way it is attached to the walls. There doesn't seem to be a theme. It is maybe you could consider it some kind of outsider art, but it has a collage feel to it without a signifier, without a theme, or it is pure expression. So what do you do?
Let's put on gloves first
Yeah.
before we are touching stuff, and
Yep.
those little plastic bags for our shoes, and then we go in and start taking photos.
Yes. So as you can see on the map, it is one big room, which is really big for New York standards, I guess. It has, well, it should have a small kitchenette. Obviously, it is completely like drowned in objects, and it has a bathroom and a closet. And so how do you how do you go about? Who's taking the photos? Do you I don't know. Do you write anything down on the backside? How's the documenting process going?
Yeah, I'm taking the photos, and I think I will be drawing the outline of the apartment on the back, so and note which direction I'm taking the photos from, and then I'm also numbering them so people can see the chronological order if they get mixed up, or if that is of any importance. But yeah, at first I would only take photos. After that, maybe list the items or whatever in this apartment. But yeah, the first step of documenting, just photographing anything before we start touching stuff.
Got it. And Agent Marlowe, are you more like a backup, or do you go through the stuff as well?
So Marlowe, after Meyerhoff has gotten through like a wall, we'll say, as you're doing the turn around the apartment before we move to the bathroom, Marlowe looks at Meyerhoff and goes, "So cool if I go over to that desk there on the wall that you're done with now?"
Yep.
And
Go ahead.
I'll go to that, and like you're talking about the typewriter, so I'm pulling out like the it's an old school typewriter with a typewriter ribbon and everything. I'm pulling that out and looking to see what's on that, bag it, write down serial numbers, and I'm just doing that, going through the drawers methodically. And if I see anything that I pull out of drawers that looks like it needs to be photographed, I would call Meyerhoff over, lay it out on the desk.
So you go through this room, and there's a little bit the depressing feeling that you know that this will take days. I mean, even if you put in an 8-hour shift or 10-hour shift, this will be a couple of days that you have to spend in this room. So let's go to Agent Mulholland. You open the PO box. And inside the PO box is the post box is like overflowing. The police hasn't checked it, and it is full with obviously flyers and advertisement and stuff like that, but also bills, like mainly bills. There's there is several how do you call these letters? Cease and desist, cease and resist. No,
Yeah,
like
cease and desist letters. Like
Yeah,
stop
like-
doing that from lawyers.
yeah, it's not that. It's like companies that threaten to stop providing their services.
Oh yeah.
Collection letters.
Yeah, collection agencies.
Final notices.
Exactly.
Yes, final notices, and the it's like cable, water, television. It's everything.
Yeah.
You find a letter regarding that the cable guy is coming to to switch off television, and Then there's a follow-up letter, like assuming that you open the letters actually. There's a follow-up letter that says that they will send another worker because the first one couldn't make the date or something.
Interesting. So the flyers can obviously be ignored. The bills can be ignored. And these are all things that look relatively similar, no matter what power company is sending it or no matter what cable company is sending it. So the thing that would stand out would be the letters, because it's more likely that those would be hand addressed on the outside. So looking at those, it makes me wonder, did the cable guy actually come here and just not go back to work? Did they not check in? So, me being a nosy, snoopy reporter, I'm going to call the cable company.
Awesome. So you call the cable company, and let's see. One second. Oh, by the way, it's the hour mark, and I normally make like a 5 to 10 minutes break. Is that okay for you guys?
Sure.
5 minutes, maybe. All right. See you in 5.
Be right back.
Puckett, are you back? No, not yet. Kevin, will you be part of the Degoya County thing?
Yeah, I'm going to be on a side group that Lowell's running. Yeah, I'm super hyped for that.
Yeah, the whole idea is very close to my preferences, so I'm really interested how it will play out.
Yeah, I'm very curious on how we're going to intersect these stories while building the mythology of that area. Because I've been lucky enough to play in a couple different timelines in Mercy Falls, and it's been really cool how Jason did such a great job of weaving past events, even though those were played, chronologically from a player's perspective after our initial forays into there. And it just all, and people really leaned into that too. So I think there's just a ton of potential for this to be amazing.
Is there a date for the first show, so to speak, to go?
Not that I've seen yet. Part of it, I wonder, is how much is, time being taken up by Hearts of Wulin Kickstarter and also the Codex Kickstarter. They just collected the funds on that a short while ago. So fulfillment still has to happen there.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, Agent Mulholland, you call the cable company, and the woman says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Yeah, hi. This is Donna Wright, Abigail Laura Wright's daughter. I was calling because there's a note here about a cable guy, and like apparently there was an appointment, and I was just curious what happened. I mean, did the cable guy not show up, or I mean, did your technician? What happened?
Let me check the schedule. Hold on a second. And she comes back and says, "Well, there has to be. Well, first of all, we have to apologize that we couldn't make the first appointment. The worker just disappeared. He also stole the van apparently. So."
Oh wow, I'm sure that played hell with your scheduling that day.
Yes, and it was a terrible, unprofessional thing that we apologize. But obviously, if your daughter would have paid the bill, then there would have been no need to, to send someone in the first place.
Well, yeah, it's my mother, and well, yeah, she's got dementia. You know how that is. It's early onset, unfortunately, and it's been kind of traumatic for all of us. So I'm trying to put things right when and how I can. I'm curious here because she left some notes. Do you happen to know what the driver's name was? What the technician's name was?
Oh, that asshole, Langford, David Langford.
David Langford. Okay. And did he show up for work that morning and just go for the call and then disappear, or?
So let me see. It was on the 20th of March. The appointment, as you probably know, was at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last we heard of him. I hope he's happy with the van and all the equipment.
So he did all his service calls up to that point and then just vanished?
Yeah. I mean, I have to tell you, it's the first time that happens. That I have heard of such a thing. Definitely in our company. He just vanished, took all the stuff.
I'm curious here, and forgive me if I seem nosy. This is really really weird, and I'm curious. This is, I mean, kind of weirdly fascinating to me. Did you guys file a police report or anything?
Yes, we did. We filed a report on. Let me see. Well, yeah, we filed a report on the 3rd and
Of April.
3rd of April, and apparently the police already knew because his brother reported him in as missing.
Mm-hmm. That's really curious. Do you happen to know his brother's name?
Yes, his brother is called James Langford.
James. And do you happen to know if he lives in the area? Is he in New York or New Jersey or?
I don't. I
Okay.
just remember because that day I was working, and obviously that was the gossip of the office.
Right. I mean, it's just. I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
seem to remember that he had, stuff came out. He 2 ex-wives and like pending payment and blah blah, and probably just went to another state.
Yeah, it skipped out on it, tried to get a fresh start type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying, I'm sorry for asking so many questions. It's just like, I mean, it was weird that there was no record of him. I mean, like, I'm trying to piece together my mom's notes, and like I said, she's got dementia, so that's hard enough. But then you started telling me this weird story, and it's like, this is fascinating. So, I mean, I'm sorry, I won't take up any more of your time, but thanks for the information. I appreciate it. It helps me make sense of her notes. I will. Do you know if she has an outstanding balance on the bill or?
She does. She
And
stopped paying her bills in in February.
right. So how much does she still owe on it? I'll see if like I can. We're setting up a conservatorship, and so I'll see if I can get some payment to you. But how much is the overdue bill?
She mentions a number that is appropriate for like 2 months of not paying the bill.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
And she hangs up. So back to Agent Meyerhof and Marlowe will be stuck in the room for some time. What is Mulholland doing after phoning the cable company?
She's calling the cops. See what she can get over the phone about the missing persons report. See if she can get an address on James. That'll actually just be through. Did we turn on our cell phones this time or no?
Yeah, you got
the burners.
You can have your own phones, but you also have burner phones to contact ACEL and the handler.
Well, all right. So she's calling the police on the burner phone while she looks up James Langford on her phone, just to see, so she's multitasking, trying to get an address on James, see what we can learn from that. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, trying to find out what the police know. So she's actually trying to call a contact of hers at the department, a sergeant that she's worked with in the past, to see if maybe you can give her some information without going through normal channels.
So, you can definitely.
What year are we in?
96.
That is before internet-enabled phones. Damn it. All right, so she's going to have to rely on the sergeant for everything.
Yes. Just quickly, let's go back to the apartment then. So you have been working for maybe 2 hours, and so Agent Marlowe, you were looking at the ribbon of the typewriter, and well, you can see against the light. So the last thing, I guess, that was typed is it says Agent Marlowe, and then 2 points, and a knife.
So Meyerhoff, you hear Marlowe go, "What the actual fuck?" Meyerhoff, can you just put down the damn Polaroid for a minute?
I'm lowering the camera and I'm walking over.
And I hold up the typewriter ribbon against, I don't know if there's a window on that wall or whatever. I'm like, just tell me what that last bit says on the ribbon.
Okay, do I read the same thing?
Yes, you read Agent Meyerhoff, and then 2 points, like in a play. Dot dot dot, and a knife.
Do I read Marlowe or Meyerhoff?
Marlowe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking a photo of this.
What the hell?
That is concerning indeed. There's no explanation that that is readily available.
This is like fucking science fiction shit. Or a ghost story, your choice. The hell, this... Okay, just going to be upfront here, because we got to communicate, right? So we know if we're infected. This makes me really uncomfortable.
As it should, it might be some form of precognition. There have been temporal phenomena reported in the agency, so this might not be the first time an agent encounters something like this, but it's certainly the first time for me. So did we look everywhere? Like, did we open the closets already in the apartment?
Well, I mean, you cannot look everywhere. You have opened the closet to have a look inside.
Yes,
but it's
so we are sure. We are reasonably sure that no one is hiding in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the point I was gonna ask about. So,
is it disconcerting so much as to increase your stress level, or is it
definitely for Marlowe?
Yeah,
Marlowe hates the supernatural crap or preternatural stuff. It gives him the wiggums. So, do we tell Mulholland right now?
No.
We
write down a note right now about what we saw. So whatever happens, he can reconstruct it, and then we are putting that outside the apartment. And
all right. Well, so I'll bag up that ribbon and put its identification number on it for the chain of custody along with the note. I'm like, okay, so I guess we just keep going here then?
So this note stopped right. Yeah, like if
right when we were standing outside before I opened up the door.
Yeah, really short, like not exactly, but shortly before it.
Is there a fire escape at a window here?
There probably should be.
Oh, wait, this is ground floor.
Yeah. So no. Why should there
Okay.
be?
I'm just going to check if the windows seem like they're painted shut or seized up, or if they open and close with a lot of noise or quietly, because I'm still holding out hope that it was someone inside who then stepped out and closed the window on us.
Yeah. So there are things attached to the window as well. Not completely. So there's still light
Oh.
coming through, but enough that opening and closing the door would make a lot of noise and
Right.
take
And
time. You can
tear
see
the
that.
papers and stuff.
Yeah.
So, are there any like cables coming from the walls that could lead to recording equipment? Like, if this was like some secret agency stuff going on, this like writing down whatever people are saying would be yeah, that would mean there is some kind of surveillance
Mhm.
equipment.
Yep.
If this were Delta Green, I would say make a spot hidden. Just roll to see if you can spot like that kind of equipment.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I
that-
think on this, there's an assist from Marlo, because it's like, is there, yeah, real quick, was it an electric or manual typewriter?
A manual, like a really
Manual,
old,
okay.
not even like an old-fashioned from the 80s or something. It's old-fashioned from the 50s.
Yep. An old Olivietta or something like that.
yeah, I'm at a 4.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Well, funny enough, you can see that the carpet in the hallway. So you check everything. You check the room. You open the door to the hallway. You can see that that there is a cable leading under the carpet, but there's nothing like there is like a, what's it called, a cinch cable, but there's nothing attached to it. So it ends in a cinch that you can then attach like a microphone to, and it leads to under the carpet to the apartment opposite.
Let me check the Thomas Manuel's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this might be a listening station. Still, there's no explanation of why they, because no one is here, how they wrote it down.
With the caveat that there's no microphone attached to the cable.
Yeah, but it might have been a listening station. And yeah, if they somehow get out of here, they could have grabbed the microphone and their papers and left.
Just quickly, Agent Mulholland, where do you take the calls?
I'm standing in the hallway outside the apartment.
Oh yeah. So you see all that, Agent Meyerhoff opening the door, checking under the carpet.
If the door's open, yes, I see it. Otherwise, I just hear what's going on there. I hear things being moved around and whatnot.
And one more question, Horst. When we were standing outside of that door and talking, did we hear the clacking of a typewriter at all?
No.
No sound of the platen, anything. Okay.
And obviously the typewriter is epoxied to the wall.
Oh, it was mounted on the wall, not on the desk. Okay.
There's
Okay.
there's nothing
Even
on the wall.
freakier.
Everything is glued to the wall
Okay.
in many layers. So while you are thinking about the next steps, Agent Mulholland, you call your contact. Who is your contact?
Steve Burrows.
And so he says, Steve, who is this?
Hey, Stevie. It's Darby. How you doing?
I'm busy, Darby. What's going on with you?
Busy? That's not what you said last time we hung out. I believe you said, can't you stay for another drink? Just one more? But okay. That's how we are today. I got you.
You're calling me out for a drink, then no, I'm not busy. I have the afternoon off.
Well, tell you what, hold that thought, because if you come through for me on this one, I'll buy the first 2 rounds. Deal?
Well, something's going on. You're not as giving normally. So what do you want?
Well, God, what do I want? Come on, what do you always...
Say that again? Pocket, you're breaking.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello? There's something with your microphone, I guess. So I think while Puckett is fixing his mic, let's go back to Marlowe and Meyerhoff. What are you up to?
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You're back.
mic got unplugged.
So he's saying, what do you want?
So listen, I need some information. On April 3rd, there was a police report filed about a missing person, and there was another police report filed for GTA, both on a David Langford.
Yeah, let's grab my let's check into the computer, and yes, I have it. Langford, cable guy, reported missing by his brother.
His brother James, and then the cable company reported him for theft. Yeah, had a call at 5:30 on March 20th, and well, I can't tell if he showed up for it or if he just took off. But it's something that came up in a story that I was working on. So, can you give me any information on it? Can you slip me a copy of the report? Maybe tell me where his brother is, phone number, address.
Well, I don't want this, obviously if you're writing your stuff.
Stevie, come on. You know I never put your name in anything.
And if you got the Pulitzer, maybe you could drop a name. But anyways, so...
If that happens, I'll hire you on as a consultant. How about that?
So he gives you the address of the brother. He also says, so the van that he was driving, that popped up on the black market sometime later.
Really? How much later?
On the 15th of April.
Tax day. Interesting. Anything interesting about it when it popped up? Did you guys recover it, or just
yeah, it was stripped down. I think it was just a couple of junkies that made a quick dollar on it.
So chopped up. Okay. Anything weird about it? Like anything that stood out to? I mean, because the guy, from everything I can tell, he just vanished. Like there's no sign of him. There's no trace. I mean,
I mean, we checked on his brother, and we have 2 pending lawsuits from his ex-wives. If you ask me, he just skipped town.
All right. So there's nothing that kind of stood out as weird about the van?
Nope.
Okay.
It was, yeah. Maybe somebody took it for a joyride even. Nothing out of the ordinary.
All right. All the equipment in it was gone, right? Take it.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff wouldn't last. All right. What do you say? Hands in like an hour and a half?
Sounds perfect.
All
Two
right.
drinks, right?
Stevie, for you, I'll even buy middle shelf stuff.
You surprise me every time.
Hey,
And
none of that cheap rot gut Wells shit for you. Now, my friend, you're drinking the good stuff. I'm getting you some Jim Beam.
all right. So let's go back to the apartment. Are you just going on, documenting the stuff? Do you follow up on the cable? What's going on?
Well, Meyerhoff, did you point out this cable to me?
Yes.
So,
As well as the my suspicion that this might have been a listening post at some point, and I'm wondering how the person might have slipped away, or whatever this means.
but we see that this goes out underneath the carpet in the hallway and goes over into the Thomas Manuel's apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want me to do the FBI thing and ask to take a look around Thomas's apartment?
Maybe
I'll leave you as Do you want to do it as which ID are you using this time, Meyerhoff?
Well, I could just use the crime scene investigation ID. That's
Okay, just so I play my part appropriately to back you up.
yeah. I would be crime scene investigation with the city. That should work around here. And yeah, but I'm suggesting maybe we maybe we have a look at the whole building, see if there's anything else suspicious going on, if there are any people lurking around looking for us, and just getting an overview of the whole thing. You think we should split up? Like I stay here, take photographs of the walls, and don't waste time with that, and you have a look at the whole building, or do we go together?
Well, I'm pretty sure Mulholland wouldn't be real happy with us if we split up. And I'm gonna open the door and stick my head out in the hallway again. And Mulholland, are you there?
Yeah,
on the phone?
On the phone.
Yeah, I'm done with my phone call by this point.
Yeah, and you
start off
definitely
with,
hear your name.
what was that?
You definitely hear your name being dropped, Agent Mulholland.
And so I'm like,
so listen, I gotta go connect. I got a contact. I gotta go meet.
okay. So what time is our follow up?
Well, I need to meet him in about an hour. So connect back. Let's see. It's like what, 2:00 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So how about we connect at 6:00 back in the green box?
Dinner and debrief. Bring some Chinese.
You sure? I mean, MSG, man. I mean, it's not good for you.
Whatever. This job's going to kill us long before MSG does. Tastes good.
Jesus, aren't you just a ray of sunshine?
It's what my wife says.
All right. So I will catch up with you two in a bit.
Then I'll lean back into the apartment and go, okay, we're meeting at the green box at 6. I'll scout the building. You continue cataloging. Deal, Meyerhoff?
Yep.
So, Meyerhoff, when you're alone in the room, the and you're taking your photos, you're sifting through the stuff, you're making notes. The whole apartment seems to, like, not literally, but it seems to shrink a little bit. Like the items seem to press down on you, and it does look like the more you look at the arrangement of the objects, the more you have the feeling that there is some kind of weird pattern to it.
Yeah. As I have the feeling that the room is shrinking in on me, I'm taking out the measuring tape and making notes how big the room actually is, and if that makes any sense with the plans of the building.
So the room is quite big. So I would say, it's like really spacious for an apartment in New York. It's a little bit like, have you seen Daredevil, the series? It's like that. It's like a really big room with the kitchenette to one side and then a closet. And measuring the whole thing seems to agree with the map. The dimensions are the same.
Yep. Still writing down the measurements. And do I recognize the pattern, or is it just a hunch that there might be something?
I say make a roll, and you're free to add your dark die if you want to.
Yeah, and it's not something that's within my expertise as a medical researcher.
Oh no.
I have a 1. That means I'm adding the dark die, which is a 2.
Well, you can re-roll both if you want to. If you're unhappy with the result, you can always.
Then it's a 6 and a 2. So, and 6 is the regular die. So I do not go insane.
That's true.
Yet.
So, you think it does look as if there is like a spirally shape to the objects, like as if there is like a centerpiece, and from there's like this 3 spiral arms growing out of it. You can't really see it if you're looking at it closely, but if you step back and you ignore some of the objects, you can definitely see that spiral pattern, and it is almost like as if a wave is going through the objects.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking another set of photos, like not the close ones where you can have just each wall, and then I'm drawing the pattern on the Polaroid with a pen, so I can show it, and we can compare notes once my colleagues return.
Okay, and then let's go to Mulholland. You leave. I think you take you're walking there, I assume, or you take the metro. What's the?
I'm just gonna hop in a yellow cab.
Yeah. So
it's like 20 blocks. I don't want to walk that, especially not in this heat.
Exactly. So you can see that in the vicinity of the building, like driving to the bar. In the vicinity of the building, the building stands a little bit out because there's no what's it called? There are no residences. It's all like business. It's all banks and insurances. So it's a pretty posh part, or pretty let's say expensive part of town. And the only like utility, I don't know if you call it like that, but the only place where you can actually buy stuff is there is a delicatessen on the corner. There's a laundry and a like a VHS. What do you call them? Like a
rental store.
Yeah, they can rent tapes.
Movies and whatnot.
Yeah, and so you drive the 20 blocks. You meet up with your contact. Is that more like how's your relationship with the guy?
It's complicated.
So
he would like it to be a little more complicated than it is, but as it is, it's complicated enough because they're not really in a relationship and they're not even really dating that much. She calls him during the day and says, "Hey, so what can you tell me about this case?" And they will call each other from time to time after hours and say, "Hey, you up?" So that's kind of where their relationship is.
And do you get the impression that he wants more of it, or is he happy with the state of affairs?
I think he would like more.
Mm-hmm.
And Mulholland is not quite there yet.
All right. So, Mulholland sits at the bar. He's already there, and he nods if you come when you come in, and you can see that he has like a file on the lying on the bar.
Nice. Stevie, you always come through for me. You're the best.
So this doesn't have to do anything by chance with I'm sorry, what's his name? With Thomas Wright.
Well, that's a heck of a good question. Why would you ask that?
Because I was looking through the files and I've seen the Langford guy
Mm-hmm.
and what building he was, and well, the FBI was there, and the NYPD was there. How's that? I mean, famous journalist like you doesn't, investigate the case of the missing cable guy, does he? Does she?
Well, I appreciate you calling me famous. I'm not that famous. I've just pissed off a couple of the wrong people and they made a little bit of noise, but with your help, we'll get there. We will get there, my friend.
I wanted to say talented. I'm sorry. And he points at a nice Glenlivet middle shelf. You said.
I said middle shelf. I will go for the 10-year. I'm not going for the 12. All right.
Works for me.
I mean, I am still on a budget, and this job doesn't pay much.
Well, hell doesn't pay being a police officer in New York.
Not if you're an honest one. So, listen. She takes a drink. I about all I ever ask of you in terms of our work stuff is an address here and there, police report, simple stuff. If I needed to, could I call you outside of work in something like a work-related capacity? Like if I needed you to show up and, bring a gun?
He looks you deep in the eye. Look, Darby, I, we're friends,
Yeah,
and I
been
really
friends for a
like.
while.
Why would you need somebody with a gun?
Okay, so I know it's been a while since you were on the beat, but you know how sometimes you can look at a situation and you can just get a bad feeling?
Oh yeah,
Like you walk into the bodega and everything seems mostly normal, but the guy at the register keeps kind of glancing toward the back where somebody's like browsing, but it's like it's a dude and they're browsing tampons or something.
no
I,
shit.
I'm I kind of got a weird feeling about this one. So I'm asking, if I need the cavalry, can I call you? Like in a semi-official capacity, like I don't need you to bring SWAT. I don't need you to roll up with a tank, but I might need you to roll up with, you know, I might need you to roll up armed.
Tell you something. A couple of weeks ago, there was this guy, and he drilled a fucking third eye in his forehead. Picture that.
Yeah.
I know strange things going on. And if you're talking about that kind of strange, yeah.
I honestly, Steve, at this point, I don't know what kind of strange I'm talking about. But cable guys don't just steal the van and disappear and vanish as completely as this dude did. I mean, you looked him up. There's no record of the guy. There's no credit card hits. No, there's no sightings of him. You recovered the van. What the hell is he driving now? Where the hell is he? His own brother doesn't seem to know. I haven't talked to the guy, so I can't tell if he's lying or not yet. But
Well,
it's not adding up.
I don't know. The ex-wives, you know how it works.
I do, but
He's starting anew somewhere. It's conceivable, but listen.
Like Hemingway said, isn't it pretty to think so?
It is.
But doesn't it kind of bug you that it's tied up that neatly?
What bugs me is that it's tied to, you know, what's the woman called? Abigail.
Abigail Wright.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she disappeared as well. That is a bit too much of a coincidence to just brush off.
Steve, did you know where he was supposed to be when he disappeared?
Well, he was supposed to be at, the McAllister building, I guess.
He was supposed to be at Abigail Wright's apartment. Cable company says he never showed up. But he did every other call that day. And I'm wondering, because she's gone and he's gone. So it's, Steve, you know this as well as I do. Life is messy. It's never this. It's like somebody tied this up with a bow and put it in a pretty box and just handed it to you. Like, here's a gift. Here's something with a story, with this story that fits. All the pieces seem to add up as long as you don't look too close at them. And here you go. It explains everything. Because that's what happens when people don't want you to look too closely at something.
It's less like a present and more like a shit sandwich, if you ask me.
Yeah. So yeah, that just I just needed to know. So if you get a call from me and it's middle of the day, later in the evening, middle of the night, I may not be calling to say you up, but yeah. So thanks.
And he orders the next round of whiskeys. Can we make another 2-minute breaks? I'll be back.
Good.
And then we go back to Agent Marlowe.
Good deal.
We weren't talking, but we can.
Oh.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. So, yeah, Agent Marlowe, are you going to Thomas Manuel's apartment, or do you like look through the whole building? What's the plan?
Going to go through the whole building. So, and since I have this schematic of the place where apartments are marked as unoccupied, I'll actually try the knobs and knock to see if I hear anything inside. I'm not going to, on any apartment where they were indicated that there's a resident, I'm not going to mess with those right now. And then
yeah, as far
I'll
as
just work my way up.
Okay, as far as you can see, the unoccupied apartments are actually unoccupied. And then there's on the third floor there's a staircase leading to a door, and the door leads to the roof.
Is the roof access locked?
No, it's unlocked.
I'll go ahead and check the roof. I mean, I'm pretty sure that would have been searched between city police or borough police and FBI, but I'm going to go up there and just get a look around the building and look for the sort of weird stuff that regular police might not look at, the stuff that makes me go, crap.
So there's Kevin, you are from New York?
No, I'm not from New York. I have only driven through New York to get to upstate New York.
Okay, so on the roof, there's this typical these water towers.
Yep.
But there's actually not anything out of the ordinary that sticks out. But you can definitely make like a roll to see if there is something out of the ordinary.
I'll go ahead and kind of move around the pea gravel if it's a pea gravel roof instead of a finished roof. And also if there's a ladder on the side of the water tank, go up that also and just check and make sure whether there's anything going on. So it's humanly possible, and it's obviously in my normal skill set here. So I'll roll with 2 pair of 5s.
So you don't find anything on the roof. You're already a bit disappointed when you return to the stairs down. And there you can see there's confetti on the floor. And like the weird thing about it is that you are pretty sure it hasn't been there when you went up the stairs.
No matter, crap. This little thing is screwed up, and I'm gonna crouch down and pull out a little baggie and slide some of the confetti into it. And does that look like paper that's been shredded or punched, or like ticker tape type confetti, or is it like circular?
It is shredded, you would say, and the paper also looks old. Like it looks as if it has been used for the 4th of July parade in 45 or something, rather than recently.
Yep. So I'll manipulate it and see if it feels crumbly and smell it to see if it has that old decomposing, like old library smell that you get.
Yeah,
from the acid
definitely
in the paper.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that it's it doesn't have the old library smell. It doesn't smell like it's moldy or something. It's more like the texture of the paper makes, and it is yellowish, like it has yellowed, definitely. It has aged.
And I'll slip that into inside pocket on my suit coat and head back downstairs and go back down to the ground floor, knock twice on Abigail's just so I don't startle Meyerhoff. And like, didn't see anything, just didn't see anything.
If somebody knocks at the door.
I'm going to open the door and come in. I just was given like a heads up. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm prepared. Yeah, I think we continue the the conversation.
Yep. So didn't see anything that I would consider our typical alarm signifiers from an external review of the building. Check the roof as well. However, and again, I don't like this whole timeline thing, and I pull out the little baggie from inside my suit pocket, and you can see this kind of faded confetti in there. I'm like, I swear that this stuff wasn't on the stair access to the roof when I went up. It was there when I came back, and I hand the baggie over. I'm like, and just take a look at it, smell it. Just tell me. I'm not going to tell you what I think. I'll let you tell me what you think.
I'm taking a look at the confetti.
You would definitely say that this is 50 years old. But not 50 years old, like 50 years lying around in a puddle of water or something, but it's 50-year-old confetti in pristine quality.
This is really odd. It seems like an it seems like this is at least 50 years old, but someone kept it around and in good condition. So
just saying, wasn't there when I went up.
Yeah.
Was there when I came back down.
Yep. I think we might be dealing with some temporal as well as spatial distortions here. And a good thing, or maybe maybe a good thing, I found some patterns in the, or I think in the arrangement of the objects on the walls. I show him the Polaroids with the spirals painted on them.
Yeah, weirdly enough, on the Polaroid, you don't really see anything. It looks just like a, jumbled up objects without any structure to it.
I'm like, are you sure this is the right ones, Meyerhoff? Check your notes.
Do my my pen marks, do they help on any form?
Your what? Your?
I drew in the pattern with the pen on the Polaroids.
Well, I mean, you can still see the pattern that you have that you have seen, but the pattern is only there because you draw draw on it with a pencil, not because it's objectively there.
So I think Marlowe like sees these drawings on the photos, and I'm like, sure you're okay here, Meyerhoff. I mean, this looks like someone trying to impose a pattern where there isn't one.
Do I recognize the pattern on the wall still?
No, you don't.
So I see your head go up and track over to that section of wall and then go back down. I'm like, so you okay?
Since Agent Marlowe, you're not alone anymore, and the feeling of claustrophobia is lifted somewhat.
this seems it seems like my perception of the room changed with in your absence.
Is this like that observer effect that you talk about sometimes?
Might be, might just be pareidolia. The like seeing a pattern where there is none because of how our minds are made up. But since we both know what we are dealing with and what exists in this world, I would doubt it is either of those things. But that the room or whatever shapes this room or whatever is happening here is reacting to people being alone.
So I think going forward, we don't do any of these solo times for sure in this room. And I'm not even sure about this building.
Yeah. You found the...
I mean,
found-
confetti in and
yeah.
of itself isn't too frightening, but just I don't like weird stuff when we're doing these.
Well, I don't think we will be able to avoid all the weird stuff. But we should find out if any of the other inhabitants of the building are in any way in contact with the stuff. So we can recognize possible vectors.
I agree, and I think we need to look inside those empty apartments. I did knock on the doors of all the empty units. No response, no sound. I didn't see any shadows moving underneath the door frame.
Yeah, and those are a lot of empty apartments for Manhattan.
For a piece of property where the owner is paying taxes, you'd think they'd want to be collecting rent. And you see me, I reach inside to an inside pocket of my suit and pull out a clip and load it into my gun and jack a chamber into the round and reholster it. Like, so you want to do B&E first, or do you want to do a door-to-door canvas of residents?
Let's talk with the people first.
All right, you still want to take the lead on that, Meyerhoff? You're a little less intimidating than me, which might be good.
Yeah, makes sense. We can do it this way. Feel free to step in if there's any police work stuff I'm missing.
Yep. If I will hop in on that.
Cool. Quick check in with Agent Mulholland. How long do you plan to spend the afternoon in the bar with Stevie, and then meet up later, or do you return to the building at some stage?
Actually, after the second round arrived, I just knocked it back, said, "Hey," and he turned to look at me, and I just gave him a kiss on the lips and said, "I got to run, but put $20 down on the bar, slide it toward the bartender and nod. Say, I'll any like the next time we talk, it'll be, hey, you up? As opposed to any of the other reasons that I have been or might be calling.
Well,
so I'll catch up with you soon, Stevie.
Looking forward to it, Deborah, Darby. And he turns around, orders another drink.
And I leave the bar, catch a cab, go back to the building.
He has slipped you, some of the copies of the case, and the case that NYPD was investigating the first time around.
Now, did you say Thomas Reese or Thomas?
Yeah, Thomas Wright is the father of
Thomas Wright.
And
gotcha.
he's a retired police officer, and that's probably why the FBI was involved in the case in the first place, because it has no statewide, it's just a missing person case. Why would the FBI take the case? But you do find that the building is run by a company called ArtLife. And ArtLife is, as it seems, like a non-profit organization that provides like affordable living space and workspace for artists in New York.
Art Space, huh?
ArtLife, it's called.
Art Life. Interesting. And the McAllister building is what kind of neighborhood is it in?
Yeah, it's a really expensive neighborhood. You wouldn't. It sticks a bit out anyways because it's all steel and glass next to it. It's mostly services, some kind of financial services, banks and insurance companies, office buildings.
So it's basically a mixed-use building for art studios and residential space in what is otherwise a business district?
Yeah, exactly.
That's unusual.
You would also assume that the rent, if that would be on the free market, it would be unaffordable for any artist.
That doesn't add up. It's New York City and there's somebody not being a capitalist. That starts scratching some itches.
So you're going back to the McAllister building? Or are you following up on the brother of
What time is it, roughly?
Let's say it's maybe 4:30, 5-ish. So you were supposed to meet up at 6.
The green box at 6, yeah. I tap the cabbie on the shoulder and say, "Hey, listen, change of plans. Can you take me to this address and I need you to wait for me? Can you can do that?"
Of course.
All right. There'll be some extra money in it for you because I know I shouldn't be at the address long, but just keep it running. And if we need to depart at faster than normal speeds, I'll make sure it's worth your while. Fair enough?
He smiles and puts down the pedal. So Meyerhof and Marlowe, who are you asking first? And it's around, let's say it's the same time. It's around between 4 and 5.
I think we just go across the floor and ask, talk to Thomas Manuel because that's also where the cable was leading.
Yeah, so you knock a ring and the door is opened by a young man, probably Hispanic, dark, like black hair that he has brushed out of his face and tied in a ponytail. He's wearing shorts and no shoes and a Black Flag T-shirt, and he says, with a rather soft, a bit shy voice, "How can I help you?"
We hope that you can answer a few questions, and maybe we could take a look at your at the building here. We are. I hold up my the false ID using.
Oh, police! Wow.
Well, I'm not a policewoman. I'm a crime scene investigator. That's.
Oh wow.
I'm a police person. I loom over Meyerhoff.
Yeah, he takes half a step back. Well, how can I help you, officers?
Well, you're living right across the floor from Miss, what's her name? Miss
Right.
Wright's apartment. So, is there anything unusual you've noticed in the time since she went missing or before? Like, were there any? Was there any noise, any intrusions, anything out of the usual?
Well, please come in. He leads you into his apartment. Can I get you a glass of water or something? It's really hot outside.
That would be great. And I
Yes.
just kind of start moving in.
So he taps water from the from the water tap.
Yep, I start positioning myself in the room so he can only look at one of us at the same time. So we have the opportunity to look around and take in the environment.
Yeah, the apartment is extremely austere to the point where it resembles more like a hotel room than a lift-in space. So you don't see any personal item whatsoever. There's a pretty expensive-looking tape deck. There are like microphones next to the tape deck. And you can and big, like two big boxes, big speakers. But that's it. Like there's no photo on the wall. There's no I don't know, nothing that would indicate that somebody lives here. Oh, Laura. Well, since Laura disappeared, no. I mean, the police was here, and then the FBI was here, and I mean, before she went away, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. I mean, she was a brilliant mind. She was like a free bird, and I think she just moved on.
So you two talked on a regular
Oh
basis?
yeah, we talked a lot. She's she was smart. She was always friendly. We could talk for hours.
Oh, and did she mention something like you're moving on?
Nope. Like I mean, I'm as surprised as everyone else. I mean, I'm not surprised as in she had this, she had this yearning for freedom, and I think she did the right thing. Just pack your bags and disappear.
Maybe, but was she working on any big projects? Of like anything that she might have finished or that she might have started in another place?
I mean, she was a illustrator. I mean, these kind of jobs that you have to do to pay the bills. But she was also, a visual artist. She was painting as well, but she didn't say anything about a big project she was up to.
Do you know if she was interested in writing as well?
Was she?
Well, we saw some. At least we saw a typewriter. That's a model someone would get who's at least interested in the craft.
A typewriter? What is this? What year are we in again? 96?
I assume she went cheap. Computers aren't cheap. So did she talk about her artwork with you?
Yeah, we talk about art. We talk about art in general.
Oh, you do art too?
Oh yeah, I'm a painter.
You're a painter, so you're not like a musician? And I just like look really meaningfully at the speakers, the tape deck, and the microphones laying there.
Yeah, you see a slight smile of pride when he says that he's a painter. He seems to ignore you pointing at the audio equipment, and he says, "Well, I'm doing well. I'm doing, my art is appreciated."
So, do you have a studio space in the building as well?
Yeah, I'm working in the basement.
Is that where Laura worked too, or did she have another?
Yeah, she worked in the basement as well.
That's and are you a recording artist as well, or is this your day job?
All the recording stuff is just for fun.
So, what are you recording?
Ambient sounds, field recordings, that kind of stuff. He seems to be a bit like evasive about the whole thing.
So, do you always have consent for those ambient sounds?
I mean, it's not that I'm eavesdropping on anyone. It's just,
It isn't?
No.
Really? You
Really?
didn't set any of these mics up to, maybe hear what the neighbors are doing? I mean, it's got to be tempting.
Of course not.
Well, we at least found a cable leading from Laura's apartment over to yours.
He makes a weird impression on you, as if he's zoning out for a moment, and he says, "Well, I must have left it under the, I must have left the cable."
Well, it is a. So you drilled through the wall and just left the cable there.
Just to clarify, it's not
Yeah.
drilled through the door. It's like the cable is literally running under the carpet and ends before the door.
Okay. And so the cable is not connected to anything on both sides.
It is on. Well, you haven't checked his side yet, but on Abigail's side there was just this chinch.
Yeah, but from Abigail's side, it runs through the wall, and then
no,
it runs under the
runs-
door. So it runs under the doorway and then under the carpet over here.
Yeah.
So you carpeted over a cable.
Well, yeah, I was just recording the silence.
Huh. And to record silence, you had to do that right outside of, or possibly inside of Abigail's apartment?
Well,
do you want
haven't
happen to have you wouldn't have any tapes from around when you were capturing that silence that we could listen to? Looks like you got a nice setup here. And I'm like looking at the speakers and the tape deck. We got plenty of time here before our next meeting. Right,
So-
Meyerhoff?
You look around, and the weird thing is he has not a single CD or tape or anything.
Yeah, I'm looking for the other side of the cable, while I'm here.
Yeah, it does. It does appear from under the carpet and runs just through the under the door, and then there is he has a pretty elaborate speaker system and cables. They're all neatly running alongside the walls and everything, and the cable does end up in the tape deck.
So it is still connected.
Mhm.
So you haven't been using your equipment for a while since you forgot about it?
I mean, I've recorded, just the ambient sound. There's nothing creepy about it. It was after Laura has left.
Well, since she has been declared, let's talk from person to person. I don't want to do you any harm. I respect your arts and all that stuff. And we don't want to call the FBI in because this is the FBI kidnapping investigation. It's a lot of paperwork we had to file if we told them about someone surveilling an active crime scene.
Yeah,
Are you
lots of
intimidated?
paperwork.
It looks like it. So what do you want him to do?
We want him to give us the recordings or tell us more to just stop us from reporting him for breaking into a crime scene.
Make a roll, and obviously Agent Marlowe is helping. Lots of paperwork.
I would be at a 2. So what was Marlowe's help doing?
Well, for better or worse, I got a 6.
So you can see in his face that he is just like not snaps out of it. He's losing his focus, and it's like as if somebody switched off his consciousness, and he's just standing there and saying, I don't have the tapes. And he's telling the truth as far as you can tell. And the weird thing is that that he's not himself in the moment when he says it. That as if something is suppressed.
So tone of voice, posture, all of that is just off from where he was.
Exactly. The facial expression is frozen.
I just turn and give Meyerhoff the eyebrows raised look like, what the?
So who does have the recordings? Did you give them to someone? Where are they?
I don't know.
They're not in this closet, are they? And I just walk over to the closet and open it.
Yeah, he doesn't make any attempt to prevent you from doing that. The closet is closed. Nothing out of the ordinary. There's no tapes.
So when do you last recall owning the tapes?
Yesterday evening, at night, normally.
So what do you do at night? Did you do last night? Anything out of the ordinary, or did you?
Recording, painting.
What's the date? Come on, quick. What's the date?
10th of August.
So is that correct or is it not correct?
I'm checking right now. It is actually. It is the 10th of August.
Okay. Because just this whole old stuff around has got me wigged out.
He's not living in the past or something.
Well, could you take us down to your workspace downstairs, perhaps? And show us where Abigail worked? So that's what we're really interested in.
So he's a bit snapping out of it. Yeah.
Just a second. There were a lot of cables leading to the to his equipment, right? I will turn on the speakers and test every channel if I can hear anything that's that's going on there? Like, is he still recording somewhere? Is he still listening into somewhere?
Yeah, he's like, if you turn on the equipment, there's like a feedback from the open cable. Not a feedback, but like this static noise. But he's not recording anything apparently.
Yeah, so none of the cables, none of the channels is doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. You want him to go to the basement. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, he leads you to the basement. It's like four. It has four of these. Let's see on the map. It is not on the map. That's unfortunate. There's like the boiler room, and then there's four doors leading to what must be like communally used storage rooms, because there are obviously much more tenants. There's like this ring lock that he opens up, and inside is a studio with canvases. Like there's how do you call the thing where you put the canvas on?
The easel.
Yes, easel. And there are a lot of canvases all around the room. There's also a table with like these old-fashioned boxes full of tapes. The interesting part is that all the canvases are completely empty. They're blank.
So I see you have a lot of prep work done. Where's your actual art, Thomas?
He looks at you. Well, this is my art.
And I'll go like pick up one of the canvases, whether it's leaned against the wall or on the wall, and look over at Meyerhoff and go, this looks like a blank canvas to me. Is this some sort of avant-garde type thing? Because I don't get that stuff at all.
And, you know, on the bottom of the blank canvas that you're holding in your hand, it says, you know, with a very expressive signature, it's his name, TM, and then my great work.
So I don't see anything different, right?
Right.
I take a photo of the thing. Do I see anything different on the Polaroid?
So you obviously shaking it, waiting for a moment.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not like shaking it too much, because that ruins the.
But no, it stays blank.
Would you two leave the room for a second?
Me?
Yeah, you and Agent, Detective Marlowe will accompany you.
Okay, he leaves.
Yeah, if I wait to close the door. Once I'm alone in the room, anything changing?
No, you don't have the same feeling that you have in Abigail's apartment. It is a bit depressing that you see somebody who's obviously proud of something that has no inherent value, but no, nothing changes.
You okay in there, Meyerhoff? Meyerhoff.
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right.
I open the door again.
Mm-hmm.
So, Thomas, can you tell us where Abigail's workspace was down here?
Oh, she was working with me most of the time. We were sharing the space.
So, are any of these canvases hers? Can you? Because I'm sorry, it all looks the same to me.
Well, to the untrained eye, but I think she must have took she must have taken her paintings, and I mean most of her stuff was actually illustrative work for clients.
Hmm. And are there other painting supplies down here, like brushes and cleaning materials and all that's here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And even his the weird thing is even his shorts have painting stains on it, like not fresh ones, but he has painted in them.
Yeah. I'm taking photos of the brushes so we know the color schemes that were used.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah, you would.
Omar? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that there's nothing like it's not like special tone of colors. It's not like neon or something. It's the whole spectrum.
Oh, like beiges and grays and okay. Well, I'm gonna look pointedly at my watch. And I'm gonna go like Meyerhoff, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up so we can meet Mulholland on time here.
Yes. We should do that. So, Mr. Manuel, if you remember anything about where you left the tapes or what might have happened last night or anything out of the usual about this, please contact us, and I give him a card to like a phone number that we have for occasions like this where we need to give people a phone number.
Well, he does have tapes. Like there were the empty canvases, and in the room there were also like stacks of tapes.
Well, then I think we need to just kind of go through that stack and see if any of them are labeled or dated.
Yes, and we seems like we have more evidence to check. There's a lot.
Guys, I drank so much coffee. I need to pee again. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Question is what so what we will we do with the time our characters have? Like, do we leave him alone to talk to other residents of the building, or do we talk to all of them and call Mulholland back in here?
I know. I was thinking that maybe we need to call off the green box and just have Mulholland meet us here. And should we just go ahead and seize these tapes right now so they don't disappear when we leave this room if he comes back down?
Yeah, since tapes already disappeared, or he claims that tapes disappeared, and seem to genuinely have a dissociative episode about it, which could be, which is a likely sign that that something traumatic happened.
Yeah, we know something's not right. I think we don't have quite pardon the pun, the whole picture from Marcus here on what we're looking for. But I don't like the way this is looking at all.
Yeah, what is worrying is that I am showing first signs of whatever might be affecting him by seeing a pattern on the walls that then disappeared, which seems to be similar with his great work. Other than that, he still appears to be, seeing it.
No, that's extremely concerning. But it's a good thing, though, because, I mean, not good that you had that, but that you recognize that you had that.
Yes, and you should look out for signs of that as well.
That's
should
why
say-
the whole, well, we agree that then I pull that baggie of confetti back out. You saw this, right?
Yes.
So, okay. See my shoulders relaxed a little bit.
So what are our theories as yet? I don't know about the Maryland connection. What happened there?
Yeah.
And it might be worth checking out whatever there. If we run into a dead end here, but it seems like she might have disappeared into the building in some way of this of time distortion. If we
Yeah, I'm just not getting the whole time distortion thing, but what we've got 1, 2, 3, 3 other residents.
yeah, or are we maybe it's spatial distortion?
That closet is bigger on the inside. I watched this weird show on PBS, Doctor Who. He's got this thing that they call a TARDIS, and it's bigger on the inside because it evidently folds time and space.
Similar but scarier. Yeah, I experienced might have been an episode of claustrophobia, which is something I do not suffer from usually. Or it was a changed perception of the room. Like when I was in Laura's apartment, the walls seemed to be drawing closer, and I took measurements of the
So
dimensions.
that's why those are on the notes here?
Yep.
Yeah, all the more reason we stick together.
Yeah, let's call in Mulholland and talk to the rest of the residents before they can coordinate if they are complicit in any way.
Speaking about, what is Agent Mulholland? Did you check the Art Life office, or did you order Chinese food? What was the plan?
She headed over to talk to James,
Oh yeah,
David's brother.
yeah. To maybe because we are already running a bit long.
We can fast forward through the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. The brother has no new information. He will tell you that even he assumes that David ran away because of ex-wives.
Okay,
So
yeah, let's fast forward to the green box at 6 o'clock. Well, as long as Yasmin and Kevin are done with their interrogation and exploration and investigation.
Well, actually, Yasmin and I continued role playing the whole time you guys were away. And we've come to the conclusion that we're not comfortable leaving people in this building unsupervised. And so one of us is actually going to call you probably when you're en route to the green box and ask you to come back to the McAllister. And, we were going to seize all of the tapes from Thomas down in the art room.
Yeah.
Does he care that we... if I say, I can give you evidential receipt for it. They'll be returned after we have a chance to listen through.
I think he's pretty intimidated by, especially Agent Marlowe, but both of you. And so I think that the role just travels where you try to, pressure him to give up his tapes. So he does.
Okay.
So I'm in the cab and I get the call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's calling?
Agent Marlowe.
Yep. I guess it was me calling you. Hey, Mulholland, can you change plans?
Huh?
we found some things, want to talk about some things, and don't feel comfortable leaving the McAllister right now. Can you reroute? Meet us over here.
You don't feel comfortable leaving a building?
Well, there's perhaps been an incident, not involving weapons, just like the weird sort of incidents. And
Gotcha.
just we want
Do I
to keep control here.
Do I need to head to the green box and pick up anything and bring it over?
Well, if you want to go to the green box and see if are these cassette or reel-to-reel tapes, Horst?
Cassettes.
If you want to see if there's a boombox or a Walkman in there, that would be handy. Or you could just grab one at an electronics store, because we've got all these cassettes that are at least worth listening to on a fast forward.
Alrighty. Is there anything else you need? I mean,
Chinese.
If you don't want to leave the building, do we need anything that is more, less innocuous than a Walkman? I mean, do you need to draw arms? Do you need...
I mean, you could bring my clip back and maybe bring a Wonder Bar or a crowbar.
All right.
Got some searching to do. I look over at Meyerhoff, cover the phone. Do we need any weapons? Anything? Do you need any of your flasks or test tubes, if there's any in the green box still? Meyerhoff?
Yeah.
Need anything from the green box?
I don't think we should. I don't need anything yet. We maybe like something to play the tapes on, but
Yep.
Yeah.
I asked for that already. So
yeah. Sorry.
All right.
So Mulholland, you drive to the green box. You do find a tape recorder. There's a tape inside, and it says the Black Angel.
Huh. I'm reasonably sure that if there's a tape that's there already, I'm reasonably sure I don't want to listen to it. I don't need to know what's on it. And I don't particularly want to know what's on it. I mean, the less I know about this stuff, frankly, the better. So I pull the cassette out, I leave it on the table, get the tape recorder. I'm assuming that there's probably a crowbar or something like that in there, a pry bar.
Yeah.
And then the green box normally has weapons. What does it have this time?
Well, it is this green box has the Puma Sportsback with 4 shotguns and the serial numbers filed off, and it does have a handgun with a silencer.
Again with the shotguns. All right.
It's the same shotguns from nobody took them.
All right. I sigh, grab the bag. Is there ammo in the bag already, or is the ammo off to the side?
Definitely.
All right. So I'm assuming there's multiple clips for the pistol with the silencer. I'm assuming that there's probably a few boxes of shells for the shotguns.
Fair to assume.
Is there anything else that I can see that I think might be useful?
Well, what do you want there to be? So it does have there's still the specs with the uniforms, different types of uniforms. There is the wrapped in test tube with anthrax in it. There were 4 fire extinguishers. Well, there's this wrapped in pole, you would say, and written on the ground is said "Don't touch."
Good advice. So Is there any kind of accelerant in there, like gasoline or?
There were these what's it called, like the small containers for cars, like I don't know,
Yeah.
10 liters
Jerry can.
jerry can.
Can I transport the anthrax safely?
It is wrapped in this bubble wrap.
Wonderful. Bubble anthrax and bubble wrap. Sure, that seems safe. So I'm going to toss that into the duffel bag and grab the can of gasoline and grab the
There's
tape
a
recorder and the pry bar.
bottle of Knob Creek on the table.
There's what?
There's a bottle of bourbon on the table, and it says, "With regards, M."
Oh, what the hell? I'll grab that and take it too. So at this point, I've got the vial of anthrax, 4 shotguns, pistol with a silencer, ammunition for all the weapons, crowbar, tape deck, can of gasoline, bottle of Knob Creek.
The taxi driver looks at you suspiciously, but then shrugs because you're paying well, and drives you to the McAllister.
Yep. And I'm tipping in cash.
Wow.
So doesn't have to get reported. And he knows that. It's like, so yeah, listen, do me a favor and wipe your log for today, or at least for the last hour and a half.
Well, I'm not writing a receipt, that's for sure.
And something you can do for me?
I can.
All right. Here's a hundo. Thanks for thanks for your not time, I guess. Hope you had a good break this afternoon.
He writes down his number. Call me. No, ask for Ali next time.
You got it. You're my guy now. It's Adi, right? ADI?
ALI, Ali.
AI, Ali. Okay. Yeah. Ali, you'll be hearing from me. Thank you.
Okay, and then we crossfade to you guys. Where would you meet in Abigail's room?
No, I think as soon as Mulholland comes in, I see the big bag that's from the green box and recognize that from previous mission. And I just unzip it, pull out the pry bar, and walk down to the end of the hallway and just pop open one of the unoccupied apartments at the end of the hall.
Yeah, there's on the ground floor. There's just the one on the left.
Oh, right. Maybe we should go up to the 3rd floor and pop one up there. Right up, that would be stacked on top of Abigail's.
So, did you bring any food, Mulholland?
Where's the Chinese?
I brought bourbon. Bourbon's food. It's the 5th food group. I mean, look it up. It's science.
Well, at least they'll be sterile. Fine.
Yeah. So you're on the top floor, and I assume that you want the breaking in to be silent, as silent as possible.
Yeah, I'm not super concerned about noise since no one's on this floor, but I'm not gonna do door kicking type level. I'm gonna just apply steady strength to pop the door lock. So if you want me to roll for that,
you want to break in? Well, I got a pistol with a silencer right here. You can just shoot it.
Oh my god! Can I have my clip back? By the way, my magazine. If you've got a gun, I get a gun with ammo too.
I don't want a gun.
But then why'd you bring it?
Because you guys told me to meet you here instead of the green box and said you didn't feel safe leaving the building.
Yeah, but it's not like we don't feel safe. It is that we do not want the inhabitants to conspire.
Well, I guess it's a good thing I brought shotguns then, isn't it?
Oh, Christ. What's in the bubble wrap? What's that?
Well, so I thought we might need ways to, if necessary, deal with the building, because you guys sounded freaked out. So I brought a pistol with a silencer. I brought the shotgun.
Did you bring the anthrax?
I brought some gasoline, and I guessed that the test tube is, well, anthrax. I don't know why you store anthrax in bubble wrap in a goddamn storage locker.
Yeah, I don't know why you're bringing it along.
Well, because, I mean, if worst comes to worst, you can put it in the ventilation system and you can call it a terrorist attack. And it'll look like a terrorist attack.
I just throw my hands in the air and look at Meyerhoff and look back over at you, Mulholland, and like, what happened to you while you were out for that meeting with
you guys? Freaked me the fuck out. That's what happened. I mean, I was going over to talk to the guy's brother. I mean, it seemed like everything was under control here. And then you're like, it's not under control. We don't want to leave the building. What do we do? And it's like, well, fine. I brought you away to burn down the building. I brought you away to, like, make it look like a terrorist attack if you need to. I brought
that's no reason whiskey to carry around anthrax in a major metropolis.
Well, look, I am a journalist. I ask questions. That's how I research stuff. That's what I know how to do. You guys have dragged me into this. The last time I was anything like this, it went completely tits up. And I mean, you guys sounded freaked out. So can you at least fucking say thank you because I brought whiskey?
And I just am finishing taking a pull from the bottle. I'm like, thanks for the whiskey, and hand it back over to you.
Yeah, I'm taking the anthrax.
Please. Like, I don't fucking want this. I mean, I brought it because I figured you'd know what to do with it, or you'd do something with it, or at least have it available if you needed to do something with it. Jesus. I'm trying to think ahead on stuff that I don't know how to think ahead about, okay?
So, Agent Marlowe, you open up the 4 rooms relatively quietly, and they are unoccupied. They all have some kind of futon beds covered with a plastic. But other than that, they all have a carpet, unlike Abigail's room. But other than that, they are, maybe you find some, red poop or something. But so the rooms seem to be empty for some time. But they're not like no vacants living there or something.
All right. Well, then the only thing I'll do is I probably do want to do a search and make sure that Thomas doesn't have a microphone hidden somewhere here in this room. So checking like ceiling fixtures and in cabinets in the kitchenette and stuff. So I guess I should probably roll for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Got a 4 high.
So while you're checking the ceiling, you seem to hear like music coming from upstairs, from the roof.
What the fuck is that? You guys checked the roof, right?
Yeah, there was nothing. I mean, that. And I'm like, did I show you the confetti? And I pull out that little Ziploc baggie out.
So it's some confetti. So what?
Wasn't there when I went up, was there when I came down the stairs.
Yeah, and now there's music.
Okay, so let's
guys, here's something. So while I was out, I did some digging and I got some information. This building's managed by a company called Art Life, and it's supposed to be like low-cost mixed-use facilities for artists.
You think it'd be chock-a-full then, right?
You'd think, but it's also really weird that a building in this neighborhood is making so little money and is charging so little for rent. I mean,
Which is
This-
why it would
this
be
is-
chock-a-full.
this is New York. Nobody's altruistic. What are they getting instead of money? Because there's got to be something making it worth this company's while to do this. And the building is basically empty.
Yeah, stuff is fucked up around here. I mean, that Thomas Manuel downstairs, he's been recording ambient noise, and I do the air quotes around ambient noise, and he for sure had a microphone rigged up to Abigail's apartment, and there's other lines running into his deck down below. And I point over to the cardboard box of cassette tapes that I set down in the corner. I'm like, we've got the recordings. That's why we wanted that tape deck. But should we go upstairs and see who's up there?
Yeah, let's do this. Maybe there is some patron of the arts who is paying the rent for the whole building.
I take a drink out of the bottle. Say, all right, but I have another idea. Just want to run this past. We could go upstairs. We could do that. But this whole thing is really fucking freaking me out. And I'd like to suggest that we could also, instead of going to the roof, splash a bunch of gasoline around, torch the place, get the fuck out of Dodge, and never look back. Is that an option? Is that on the table?
We have not talked to all of the residents yet, so
Yep.
torching them that's
Premature. We can't determine if vectors have left the facility.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the building.
God damn it. All right, what do we need to do to figure that out?
Have to finish
Guys-
interviewing the residents.
I want to let you know.
Validate where Langford went, because if Langford was here and left in his cable truck, then we need to know who Langford was with.
I just want to stress this. I'm halfway to cracking up. This is freaking me out. I mean, at least with the last thing I was on, it was really, 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 really clear what had to happen. And it was a nightmare, but at least everybody knew it was a nightmare. And the only way out of it was, well, waking up is a little too glib, but we all knew what had to happen. This, I don't like this uncertainty. I don't like this. So why don't you guys listen to the tapes and figure out what's going on? And I will go talk to the other residents. I'll flash my press pass.
Nope. No onesies going off anywhere.
We check the roof, then we talk to the residents.
Yep.
I don't want to check the roof. The roof.
You can stand at the bottom of the stairs. You're coming out into the hall with us, Mulholland. Buck up, camper.
Can you at least show me how to load the shotgun first?
I'll walk through it.
Okay.
That's perfectly reasonable request, Mulholland.
Yes.
And if it gives you a sense of control, here you go. This is the safety, though. Please leave that safety engaged.
Well, if I have to shoot something, doesn't it mean that I can't?
Then disengage it. But please, you're seeming really jumpy, and I really don't want a back full of buckshot. It would ruin Meyerhoff's outfit.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So I don't have to go up to the roof, and I can hold the shotgun as long as I leave the safety on.
and you're going to stand at the bottom of the stairs where we can see you, because let's just say some weird things seem like they can happen if
This is
you're
why I want
alone.
to just. Fine. 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 It's okay. It's okay. Fine. Fine. Just get up the stairs.
All right, so you move up the stairs. There's the door to the roof, but when you open it up, it doesn't open up to the roof. It opens up to a lounge. It looks like this old gentleman lounges in the Edwardian maybe period. It has this beautiful red velvety patterned wallpaper all around. There are overstuffed leather armchairs, this nice burgundy leather. On one side, on the left side, there's a large fireplace, hearth, and it's burning. On the other side, in one corner, is a wet bar with everything you can imagine a bar should have, including like lemons and oranges and bitters and vermouth and so forth. To the other side, like in one corner is the bar. To the left is the fireplace, and there's a large walk-in. The places where you store cigars, like a humidor that is extra dry. There's also on one wall there is the bookshelves from the floor to the ceiling, and there's one of these movable ladders, sliding. What's it called? Rolling step ladder, made from like the bookshelves of this beautiful rosewood. But there's an old what's it called, like a phono. This old
phonograph, an old Victrola.
That you have to
A gramophone.
A gramophone.
Yep.
With this this beautiful speaker, and from there you can hear the music playing, and it's an old like 20s song, and a male voice singing, and while you stand there, the record is slowly winding down.
Marlowe, that doesn't look like the roof.
It's fucked up, Mulholland. Meyerhoff, you seen?
I
hearing?
can confirm this is fucked up.
You got that gas can still, Mulholland?
Yeah.
I'm taking a photo of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm looking at the Polaroid.
There is definitely a nice old lounge. You can also see that there's another stairs going up, and there is like a hallway running deeper into the building to a place where no building should be.
So I guess we found out where people are going missing too.
Shall we think we should close this entrance off forever? Because this is so wrong. I can't tell you.
Scientifically fascinating, though. So our mission statements are document the items in Abigail Wright's apartment, which we did. Identify, and destroy possible vectors. I think we found one of them.
The building seems to be
torching this shit or not?
Yes, get the matches out.
You never fuck the mission statement. There is still the possibility to locate Abigail, right?
Possibility remote. Next. I think there's going to be a horrible wiring accident, an electrical fire.
Meyerhoff. We can't do this one by the book anymore. This is, I mean, I'm the last person to want to do this, but this is really fucked up. We need to get rid of this building.
What were you saying, Mulholland, about that? What static meant? It's kind of like scorched earth, leave traces that can't be traced.
Make it look like something it's not. Burn it to the ground, salt it. Literally leave it's if I could call it a nuke, that's what the static. Yes.
Yeah, we still do not know where the cable guy went.
We can find that out without this building being here. If you want to look for the cable guy, I'd say I'd be willing to go down, all of us, to Thomas's apartment, get some of those cables he has piled around down there, knot them together, let you go in holding on to one end, because I'm sure as hell not going further than this threshold, and we'll yank you back, but I'm not going exploring for no one. This place doesn't belong here.
It does not. Still, it might be useful to know why it is here and what we can do about it not showing up anywhere else. And also, there are still residents in this building.
That's an unhealthy level of scientific interest, and we can knock on doors.
Yeah, we should at least talk to the other residents before we burn down the building.
Oh, fuck this. And I pull out my phone. Yeah, Steve, you remember how earlier I asked you if you'd come if I called? I'm calling.
You're not saying what's up, so it's the other thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying you up. I mean, it's only like 6:30, Steve. I mean, we make that call at like 11 or 12. So yeah, I'm calling about the other thing, and I'm kind of freaked out. And the bigger the caliber, probably the better. This is, yeah. Help.
Okay, Darby, because it's you. I'll be there in 20.
Hey.
If you can make it 10, that'd be even better.
So who did you? The second she hangs up. So who did you call in?
A friend.
A friend. Is he or is he not listed as a friendly in our mission briefing?
He's someone who knows how to handle a gun. And
yes.
That seems to be something that we need right fucking now, because I don't know this. And it seems like
you don't know how to handle yourself. You don't know how to handle this mission. You are way in over your head. You
are absolutely fucking right. This is why I've been saying, this is what I've been saying the entire time, and nobody's listening to me.
Well, I expected a certain amount of professionality and dedication to our work.
I have dedication to the work. The work is burning this fucking building down right now. Remember the last time I went out on this, something like 300 people died.
The work is to ensure public ignorance of both Delta Green and preternatural threats. Calling in your friend from wherever clearly is in violation of our mission statements.
So the mission statement. This thing's gone sideways.
Because you are turning it sideways.
Comes up the stairs.
Yeah.
And it's not Stevie. It is a let's see, it's a middle-aged man with crooked glasses, unkempt hair, and he stops at at the bottom of the stairs and looks up. Hey, so we have guests.
I flip the safety off the shotgun and say, get your ass down on the ground, face down right now.
He does so. He definitely raises his hands. Do I have to lie on the floor?
On the floor, spread eagled now.
He follows your orders.
What's your name?
Well, I'm Roger Caroon. You can call me Roger.
Why is the roof not a roof?
What do you mean?
Why is the roof a goddamn nightclub?
Oh, you mean the fourth floor? Or do you mean the fifth? There's stuff going
fifth?
on.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, there's stuff going on the seventh that you don't want to know.
Marlo, are you hearing this?
Yeah, I am. I'm calling static. It's all going. Meyerhoff. It's time to light it up. No one leaves, just us. Go ahead and disable him, Mulholland. This is fucked up.
Fine. Can you zip tie him?
Yep.
All right.
He lying on the floor, he turns around. So, what's going on?
You're about to have a real bad day, dude. I'm sorry.
I mean, we can talk. We can have a drink. We can have
Let's talk.
Just
Nope.
stop talking.
Nope.
Just don't say anything.
You've heard my opinions on this, Meyerhoff.
Yeah, and I'm choosing to identify further vectors.
You get 30 seconds.
What was the guy's name?
Caroon, Roger Caroon. I'm pretty famous.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He's he's semi-famous science fiction author. Pretty well known for his Night Sea series.
I've heard of your work. So, we are interested as to why there are floors appearing at night that aren't here during the day, and also who knows about it.
I mean, you can always ask the night manager. His office is right there, and he points up the stairs.
How far up?
It's just it's literally like 10 meters.
Roger, who else lives in the building?
Well,
there's you. Who else? Quickly.
Well, there's this horrible Michelle. I hate her.
What floor does she live on?
She lives on the second.
Okay. I only want to know about basement to third floor, Roger. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got Michelle. Who else?
Yes. Well, there's obviously
Faster, Roger.
Mark Rock. You know him.
Okay. Who else?
Well, then there's the weird encyclopedia salesman that Abigail lives with now.
Encyclopedia salesman, you say?
Yes. I
And
mean,
you say Abigail's living downstairs.
no, she's living on 7th now.
Okay, so she moved up there.
We had the farewell party and everything.
So who's this encyclopedia salesman, and is he here?
Yeah, he hangs around somewhere. I don't know. I don't like him.
I put the shotgun right up against his ear and say, Roger, you're going to be real clear and real precise about everything. When I ask you who lives in a building, say their name and whether they're here. Do you understand me?
I understand,
This
sir.
is a yes or no question. Yes or no?
Yes.
Name of the encyclopedia salesman.
I don't know his name.
Name. What is his name?
I don't know his name. He's the encyclopedia salesman, always with his striped suit and his suitcase.
Is he here?
He is here.
Okay. So we've got Horrible Michelle on the second floor. Got you. Got the striped suit salesman on the first floor. Who else?
Mark Rock.
Okay. Is Mark here?
Mark is here. He's always here. He's probably in the launch right now.
Okay. Who else?
The night manager.
I just
Older
need to
dude?
know about the basement through the third floor. Anything above that?
Basement through the got that. Mark is not on the basement or first floor. He's on fourth.
He's on. So Mark's on the fourth floor. Okay. Is there anyone else on floors from the basement through the third floor?
No, sir. No, ma'am.
Okay.
How many floors are there?
Well, the hotel is really big. I want to say at least 12.
Okay, so anyone outside this building know about the upper floors?
I guess so. I mean, it's not a secret, is it?
What do you mean it's not a secret?
What do you mean it's not a secret? I mean,
Roger. We need names.
you don't want to know about the others. I mean, not like fourth floor up, is it? Because there's David, cable guy. He moved in.
What I need to know is who outside this building knows about this building.
I mean, my editor.
Okay,
Sure,
so
name.
you're writing a story about this right now?
No. I mean, have you heard about the play? The play is amazing, and he.
You're writing a play.
I'm not writing a play. I'm not writing a play, but Abigail, she got me that play, and the stuff that is going on in there is just next level.
Roger? Where's the play?
Well, everyone has it. Thomas has one copy. Even Michelle got it. She says it's the next step in feminist literature.
So the play is a printed book.
It is printed out. Yeah, printed out. It's not a book. It's printed out and bind it together.
Who outside the building has a copy?
Well, I heard that Michelle bought it in a second-hand, like the original one, in the second-hand bookshop. But it was just that one book she bought. And outside of the house, I don't know. It must be, everybody has to read it, but I don't think anyone has.
What's the name of the play?
Well, the French title, it has been translated from the French, and it is something with Sule. What's it called? If you translate it, I think it says under the world, sous le monde.
Under the world, sur le monde. Okay. Meyerhoff, you got any other questions?
Oh, you don't happen to have a copy of the play in your room, right?
It's in my room. Should I bring it?
Oh, let's go get it.
I'll stay here with Roger. You know what? Hasn't it been 10 minutes?
Let's say.
Shouldn't Steve be getting here by now?
Yeah.
Let's have Marlowe stay with Roger, and you are coming with me to the apartment.
I don't want to stay with. Okay, I'll stay.
Or I can stay with Roger.
No, I'll stay. I'll stay. You go.
All right. So is Steve
Just
coming up the
don't
stairs
light
at this
it with
point?
me up here.
Yeah. So when Meyerhof and Mulholland descend the stairs, you hear the doorbell in any apartment, like somebody's just pressing his hand.
Meyerhoff, I got to go let him in because we need 2 people. We need to pair up. So you're coming with me. You're going downstairs. We're going to let him in.
If you let him in, he's in this.
I know.
And if we do static, he is
I
a
know.
civilian in this building.
You're a goddamn sociopath. You know this? Like, I can't fathom how you are so calm right now. And it's just...
You need to be rational about this. It's just...
You were
it's the
freaking me out
only
more than
way
this
how you're
building.
getting through this. No, save emotions for later. Get the answers that really... to the questions that really need answering, and
play.
everything else can wait for later.
Get the play. I am not going in the apartment. I will watch you. Get the play.
Get to play.
So Mulholland is going to the first floor. Meyerhof, you go to the second floor to Karun's apartment, and I'm sorry. Yeah, where's Karun?
Karun's on first floor or
First
ground
floor?
floor.
Let's see. How does it?
I thought he was on the 3rd floor at this point because we were on the landing staring up.
Well, I am with Karun on the 3rd floor, but Karun's apartment is on the ground floor.
Okay. Yeah. So you both go to the first floor, more or less, and while Mulholland, you open the door and there's Stevie, and
I'm
he
not
is.
opening the door.
You're not opening.
Steve,
Yes.
anyone but me and the 2 people I'm with tries to come out of this building, don't ask any questions. Shoot them.
Jeez, Darby. The fuck?
Don't shoot to wound. 3 shots, center mass. I'll tell you before I come out, and I'll tell you that the people I'm with are actually with me. Anyone else tries to come out of this building, just... Steve, please trust me on this.
This is a roll. And you can roll the dark die all the time.
All right, so I'm assuming that I get the 2 regular dice plus the dark die. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say so. As a journalist, you can be persuasive, I guess, with people. And I mean, you also
Gotta
have
convince them to tell me stuff they may not want to tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
3, 2, and 1.
I think it's interesting in this case what I roll the failure die. Let's see. Take the red picked one. Well, you won. So he says, "All right, Darby, I trust you, but you have to promise me. You have to tell me what this is all about afterwards."
I'll tell you what I can.
And you hear him, like
21-foot rule, Steve. Just
yes,
sight on the door. If that door opens and it's not me,
shoot.
3 rounds, center mass. And if you have to, 2 in the head at close range, just to make sure.
Yeah, you just hear silence behind the door, but yeah, you have to assume that he will do that. Back to Meyerhof. I guess he hasn't locked his apartment. It is, the doors is half ajar, and you can see that it is pretty kitschy. It has, an old TV set, pretty old furniture. There's an outdated computer and a printer. There are a couple of, there's a bookshelf with, books on it, and you definitely find like a printout of a play. You can see, so there are names, and then you have phrases of dialogue, but also like stage, what's it called, like what the actors are supposed to do. And it just says on the cover, the play. Yeah, stage directions.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking the play. And I'm not looking into it.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting it in a bag or something.
Okay. And then you meet up again with Mulholland, and you go back up.
Yeah, I think so.
And in the meantime, so upstairs, there is, you can hear Agent Marlowe, you can hear a dog barking on the 4th floor.
A dog.
Who does that dog belong to? I like tow him with my shoe.
I think it's part of the play. It doesn't belong to no one.
Does it bite? I'm like kind of
No.
eyeing up the stairs.
No, it doesn't bite. He's clumsy and friendly. I play with it all the time.
Are we back up the stairs yet?
Yeah, you hear the discussions between Marlowe and Karun.
Okay. Did you secure
We got
the
it.
item?
So, Marlowe, I hate to put this on you.
Yeah, whatever. I pull my gun. Just put it at the base of.
Well, you
what's his
obviously
name's
want to use
skull.
the one with the silencer.
Oh, I obviously do. I think that Marlowe's probably under too much stress and strain to be thinking that clearly at this point. Because we have to burn this whole damn place down anyway, so.
What does it matter?
Yeah. So, and the gun will be up close on him anyway, so I don't think it'll be super loud. We'll find out. So I'm gonna put 2 into the back of his skull.
Yeah, it's a horrible sound when the bullet enters the skull, and this is of blood and brain matters, spreading out. And I mean, I think Marlowe and Meyerhof, for you, I don't know. Do you think that stresses you out more than normal, or are you already like used to violence.
Now this stresses me out more than normal because
Because
It
it's not
didn't-
poison.
yeah, it didn't need to. We didn't need to get to this point this quickly, but now
Marlo
it's
disagrees.
Yeah.
For Marlo, it's just a redo again of the
Yeah,
whole
it was
Dangler
The
thing.
last job.
Just being like, oh God, why do I always get stuck having to make the hard decisions?
Yeah, I think so as well.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, you just had to agree. I mean, Mulholland was basically saying, "Fuck this, burn it down."
Yep. So I put the two into the head and then start going down the stairs. And so a third floor is where we have that can of gasoline with the cassette tapes and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meyerhoff, grab the cassettes.
Yeah, we got to burn those.
Well, we need to. Don't we need to stash those for?
Nope.
Delta Green?
Nope.
Just
Infection
Okay.
vector. Where's the play?
Yep.
Throw it in there. Throw it in the box.
Yep.
I'm starting to splash gas on it.
So do we try to go up and get Abigail out of here?
Nope.
We know where
No.
she is.
Nope.
We-
I
we
think
do
you go
not-
upstairs, you don't come back.
It seemed like people were going upstairs and downstairs. I don't know if we can return unaffected.
But she's been missing for months.
Yep.
I think only Roger
August,
goes
she's
upstairs
been-
and comes downstairs.
Yep.
Well, used to. He's kind of dead. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that Marcus will be okay with this decision. If not, it's on me.
Are we going room for? Are we
No.
going room to room and killing the others, or do we?
I'd be okay with that.
We pretty much need to. If they escape, there are still vectors out there.
Yes.
That's precisely
agree.
why there's somebody stationed outside to shoot anyone who comes out.
All right.
So
I
Got
hand
it.
a shotgun over to Meyerhoff from out of the bag in the room before.
This is the part of the movie or the series where the movie starts. It's probably the 20th song that you heard before, and it's called I forgot the name. I think it's called Abigail is Missing. And so we see the vignette where you take out the other tenants, like just we don't have to see the gruesome details, but is it like kicking in the door and unloading the
Yeah, opening the door, face backlit by the floor lights, muzzle flash.
and so there is there's Michelle Fenwitz. There is what's his name? Louis Post. And then there's obviously Thomas Manuel. So 3 people, and everybody kills one, I guess.
and don't forget the encyclopedia salesman on the first floor.
No.
Well,
Fourth.
Encyclopedia Salesman is on the 4th floor.
it's upstairs.
Okay, I thought he moved into Abigail's old place.
Nah,
well-
Abigail moved in with him, and I think it was on the 7th.
And I think that is probably like I would like to see at least how is Mulholland coping with the stress. I mean,
Oh,
you've
horrible.
I mean, have you killed someone before? Probably not.
Well, like I just told Marlo, I asked him if he could take care of Roger because I'd never, like that whole thing where he just kind of trailed off and he's like, yeah, whatever. Pop, pop.
So I assume that Marlo has to take out at least 2, or maybe all 3 of them. No, Meyerhoff has killed Van Witz, I guess.
Yeah, it's her first direct kill too, but last time she wrote the murder workflow, so she knows what is happening.
Yeah. but knowing about it and writing and doing it, I think is
it's extremely different.
And Marlo will look at both Meyerhoff and Mulholland and go, look, if you can't do this or don't want to do this, I'll take care of it. We all have our different specialties.
I'll grab a shotgun and head downstairs, and if anybody tries to come out, I'll try to catch him before Stevie has to. Is that okay?
It's acceptable to me.
Marlo, thank you. You don't know how much this means to me.
I'm doing what needs to be done.
All right. So we split up the last couple between us then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we see a shot from outside from Stevie standing there with his weapon, and then we hear in relatively like a bit spaced out the shots, and he is like with trembling hands lighting a cigarette, and then I guess before we finish actually the session, I think you burn down the building. So I assume that we see you, splashing the gasoline everywhere. Do you think that is enough to ignite a building? I mean, it's summer at least.
Go down to the basement though too, and like get where all the electrical, and it's an old building with old wiring. It's probably got plaster and lath walls if we're lucky. So once it gets going, it should go up pretty quick, hopefully.
And what do you guys think is the last shot of this scenario? Is it you like leaving the burning building and Stevie like joining you, or?
I think it's probably us running out of the building, like me yelling from the door, Stevie, we're coming out, 3 coming out. And we run, and he's like, what the actual fuck is going on? The building is on fire. Why are we leaving it? I say, I will tell you everything that I can. Just not right now. We got to go.
And you can see in his face the complete lack of understanding. Like, what is this? And you're driving in Stevie's car, probably away from the burning building. What? Yeah, Agent Meyerhoff.
I think I will take my own car, drive to the nearest phone booth, call our handler, and tell him that Stevie is out there. They have to make this decision if he is a friendly. Also, maybe no more field work for Agent Mulholland.
Yeah, you hear Agent Marcus' quiet voice. He's, as always, smoking, and he says, so any kind of unusual behavior in Agent Marlowe? It's not getting in,
Agent, there are stresses on Agent Marlowe, but he remained dedicated to the mission. He was quick to resort to the static protocol options, but nothing irrational or overly damaged here. I have to report some signs of exposure to whatever is going on. Of myself, some of my I couldn't trust all my senses out there. Like I saw some things that weren't there, had some weird visual spatial effects. So this is something we will have to be aware of in future assignments.
Yes, Agent Meyerhoff, we will. And Stevie, what's his last name? He's with the NYPD?
Yes.
Oh, we'll find out. And then, as always, there's just a click. All right. So let's have as a conclusion for tonight's session a small vignette of how you cope with the stress. Like, how do you interact with either your anchor? You can also theoretically like stay on the case, hunt down copies of the book or try to find David. So let's start with Agent Marlowe.
Well, I think so. There'll be a couple stages to this. So one is Marlowe calling into Marcus to debrief, and you hear Marlowe's like, "Yeah, Mulholland's blown," talking openly or too openly to outside sources, and Meyerhoff, too damn curious. I think missions need to be done for Meyerhoff. And me, could you put me on the shelf for a while?
Agent Marlowe, it was a pleasure working with you. But don't expect any missions coming to you anytime soon. We'll cut off Mulholland. She's a liability. We'll take care of Mr. Burrow, is it his name? And yeah, we have a file on Meyerhoff. She is dreaming stuff that, well, can only assume that it got to her.
She's good. She had my back. I'm just concerned. I had to like drag her away. Then I'm just going to hang up on Marcus.
Which is a first. Normally he hangs up.
And then there's a later scene where you see, and it's maybe a few months down the road, and you see Marlowe coming home from his real job as a U.S. Marshal, and he's in a crappy little studio apartment, and it's obvious he's split up from his wife and kid, and it looks like a really miserable, sad little existence where he's just sitting there in his easy chair with a microwave dinner, watching TV, but not really seeing it.
Awesome. And Agent Mulholland.
Later that night, and I'm going to treat this cinematically. It's late at night, and Stevie and Darby are in bed together having sex because he was trying to say, well, so what the fuck was all that about? And she said, you know what? Just shut up and get in bed. We'll talk about it tomorrow. A few days later, you see her at her desk at the paper, typing up a story. Headline of it is, Police Still Baffled by Strange Building Fire. And the last one, about 2 weeks after that, It's late at night. Stevie's driving home from his shift. Gets rear-ended. It's a stoplight. It's kind of a deserted neighborhood. He gets out and he's like, well, this sucks. The other driver gets out, draws a silenced pistol, and puts 3 rounds center mass. Gets back in the car, drives away.
And that's the end of Stevie and Agent Meyerhof.
Yeah, I guess we see her typing, and she's actually typing like handbooks for the agents to how to handle themselves, and she's stocking boxes in driving from green box to green box, putting different things in there, and she's trying to get the stuff organized, and company woman that she is, Delta Green remains alive. She first she's stuck in green boxes, and then she moves up and becomes the kind of handler who sends teams to the missions that are really unpleasant and have to be done, and she gives very precise mission statements.
And this is super awesome. Writing like the mission briefings for the operatives. But you also you come one day home, and there's confetti on the floor when you enter your apartment, and there's where we close tonight's session.
That was a killer ending, Horst, with the confetti.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that was super awesome. That was M-Cell operations. So we played the two, I think two scenarios on the other end of the spectrum, where the more pulpy, like the Monster of the Week type mission with Yaki, actually. And today, obviously, Kevin and I don't know, all of you will probably have seen the influence of Hastur and the King in Yellow. Thank you so much. That was tons of fun, and I do hope that we see more of Cthulhu Dark Green in the coming months.
You set it up, I'll play it.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
Okay, I just stopped the broadcast, so bye-bye to the millions of viewers.